Hi, I'm Alastair McCaig, WorldSpreads market analyst, and I'd like to talk to you today, Tuesday the 19th of July, about the bank stress test, the US debt ceiling, and gold. We'll start with the banking stress test. On Friday the 15th of July, after the markets closed, the European Banking Authority announced the results of the stress test on European banks. 8 banks failed, 1 German bank withdrew, mainly because it was going to fail, and 16 banks were flagged as being at high risk of failing sometime in the future. Yesterday, the European banking sector closed down 3.25%. The 3 big UK banks, Lloyds, Royal Bank of Scotland and Barclays, all closed down over 6%. This shows and highlights how unimpressed the market was with the standard of this stress test. To give you an example of this, in the stress test, the banks were being asked to factor in that Greek debt was downgraded by 15%. When you bear in mind that the markets are currently downgrading Greek debt by about 50%, this highlights the imbalance of this. The EBA have difficulties in deciding how stringent this test must be. On the one hand, they want it to be a test with which people can have trust and faith. And yet on the other hand, they don't want it to be too difficult that the banks feel they must cease lending to the wider economy, which would slow down the European Union's growth. Now on to the US debt ceiling. Earlier in the year, Moody's had highlighted that it was looking to see how the Americans were going to tackle their debt. They had mentioned that if they didn't see a cohesive plan and a structure with which the markets could have faith, they would look at changing the US debt from AAA rated to a lower standing. The deadline for this is the 2nd of August. However, the markets will not feel comfortable waiting all the way up until the 2nd of August to hear how the Americans plan to deal with this. And at the moment, the political situation in America rumbles on with no clear structure yet in place. Finally, on to gold. The confusion, uncertainty and fear that the markets have are being highlighted in the price of gold. Earlier this morning, the gold price traded as high as $1,610 an ounce, another all-time high, and over the last several months it's continued to break highs. Yesterday, gold traded at £1,000 an ounce, again an all-time high. With issues in both the European debt contagion, the looming US debt ceiling decisions to be resolved, there are plenty of reasons why potentially gold might go higher. You can trade gold, the UK banking sector, and a bet on the collapse of the European Fiscal Union on the WorldSpreads trading platform. Many thanks.